A lot of them want us to be working at the level at which the student is expected to be performing. If they're in like 5th grade and we're not doing 5th grade level work, that can be really kind of confusing. Like, why are you working on basic adding and subtracting when they should be doing pre-algebra or whatever they're doing in school? And it's the thing to always explain is like where they're currently at is way back here on these skills. That even though in school they're supposed to be doing these things, it's going to be difficult for them to solve more complex equations if they can't even add, subtract, and multiply and divide with relative ease. So that's one part of it. And the other part is to consider that even if they can follow those algorithms, the point is to build the foundation that makes it so the part of the algorithm that they would otherwise be wasting time on, I'm speaking math really here, but it applies to reading as well. If they have to look at a word and decode it every time, if they have to look at an equation and think, what is 7 plus 7? Okay, 14. It makes it harder for them to be able to read or solve those math equations if they don't have that foundation. So it kind of doesn't matter where they're supposed to be. We're working with them where they're at, and they'll get to where they're supposed to be as long as that foundation is solid. For most parents, that does help at least get them understanding and on board with the reason we have the methods that we have. We don't always correct errors right when they occur, because it's more about, in the context of a timing, it getting as much practice as possible. If they're systematic, we often do want to interrupt those, but most of the time they're not. They're little random errors that occur.
Nice, you saw that it was counting down and you fixed it right away. That was a personal best.
A lot of times parents will be like, why didn't you stop them when they made a mistake? And I'll answer, well, I really wanted them to continue their momentum. They were working through quite a few of these. They were reading, or they were writing, or they were solving math problems, and they had a good pace. I wanted them to be able to continue to practice, and I can go back and address those. And so I think that's one thing that people see and will wonder, why didn't we correct something that we know was a mistake? Another piece is what the reinforcement looks like. We use an entirely token-based economy for almost every one of the students who comes in here. And what that looks like is, it's like a pitch counter, like a golf counter. They click it for many of the students. And for others, we have them taking money out of a little money box. Most of it's fake. It's real coins and fake money.
That was a personal best. I think that you earn 75 cents.
75.
75. Do you know how to take 75?
3.
You got it.
The benefit of using that is we kind of get a little bit of bonus learning, because they have to count, read numbers, be consolidating coin values, recognizing how coin values relate to smaller coin values aggregated into a larger bill or coin. And so they're actually practicing learning those techniques as part of the reinforcement. And so they're learning incidentally, and we're sort of sneaking it in there a little bit. And it can help a lot, because then when later down the road, we ask them to do anything computation related or related to reading, even just scanning left to right, like you do when you're reading numbers, that they'll have worked on that in some capacity, even without us systematically targeting that as like a timing or a lesson.
Okay, next one, just counting by twos. Cool? Okay, all right, and we'll see how you can getting to about 50 is the aim. You actually got to 54 last time, so, okay.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
There's a couple of things that someone who watches a session like that might be a little confused by. One of them is the timer. I think that just having a timer is something that surprises a lot of people, and they might think, doesn't that stress them out? And I think the short answer is initially it can a little bit, but you get used to it really quickly, and they get used to it really fast. And usually we start their very first day by telling them, we're gonna use a timer, and then we practice it with them, so then they know what to expect. And so it is really fast paced, and it's a lot of engagement. A thing that looks very different in a session here than you'll see in a lot of other places, and I mean, just practically, they can't pull something like this off, is how rapidly dynamic the interaction is. We say something, they say something, and we're back and forth. There's very little downtime. There's not a go take this thing and go practice and bring it back and I'll check on it later. It's just in the moment, instantaneous feedback. And I actually think it is that level of intensive dynamic interaction that helps keep kids engaged, where after 55 minutes of nonstop work, the session ends and they say, oh, session's over already. And it's like, we were just working for almost a solid hour and they barely even noticed the passage of time because they're so engaged the whole time. And that makes a world of difference for them, I think, in their experience of this feeling overwhelming or too intense or like too much work.
Yes, good job.
The point is not to just go as fast as humanly possible. The point is there is a way to measure proficiency, and one way to do that, I mean, there's lots of ways to do that, but one way to do that is to see about under pressure, how many answers can you give? How many words can you read? How many words can you write? In a sort of constrained time sample. And so those samples just give us a way to evaluate, under this condition, can we get proficient performance? It's just about trying to give them a practice opportunity where the goal is a proficiency type performance.
Remember, what I want you to do is say it out loud as you write them.
Yep.
And if you don't have to write them because they're already there, just say its name. Got it?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, here's your pencil. You have 30 seconds.
This one? Right here?
Yes, right there. Very good. Thank you for asking. 3, 2, 1. Go for it.
And I think that part of the secret sauce is just that it's a lot of interaction and a lot of reinforcement. And so we do a lot to enrich the environment.